Okay, so we have another drawing today. So we're just going to quickly sketch it out, just like the normal routine.
He crawled down to get away from the extra storm. This was amazing. This was incredible. Here was proof of the psyche's alien existence. If he could crawl up, he would be famous for this discovery. No. The sound was explosive in his mind. He collapsed because of it. No, you must reach me. Then you will understand. For a moment, it seemed as if the thing were begging him. Becker knew an instant
Okay,
of sheer
so we have it kind of drawn out. Have some of the shadows, highlights. Okay. So how do we start out? Well, we're going to block out. We have many different colors here to work with. What are we going to do? We know how to. We know how we did the blue. How are we going to do this yellow? This yellowish green. Okay, let's. So I'm just going to pick a very light yellow. That's a light yellow. And I'm just going to block out some of my values. Right, where are some of these values in this base? Oh, and it's kind of like a green color, right? That's too light, so I need to find a green that's darker. Is it darker in value? Closer. We could modify it with the complement later on, right? And work the values. Now, this top part is a lot of grays. And I'm always worried about students getting caught up with just using black and white, and you're back to doing charcoal drawings. Okay? We don't want to go back to using just charcoal drawings. Okay, I'm looking at the neutral color, or I mean the mid-tone, which is here a neutral color. But I'm going to modify it with something else. I'll probably modify it with reds or something. So I'm just looking at all these shapes. All these shapes add up into, a whole. And it helps give you that feeling of reflections. Now, I really don't want to use black. Oh boy, resist that urge. Don't go to the dark side. Do not use black. When you get really good at being an artist, yeah, black's fine. But right now, black can be a crutch. If you use black, it just makes understanding color harder. And I like having things easier. So I'm just going to use a blue right now. And I can modify this with a little black, but I don't want to do too much. And so I'm just blocking it out. I'm getting highlights, midtones, and some shadows. Okay. I know these all have shadows on, right? Where are the shadows on these? Shadows on this side of these. Cherries, is that what those are? Yep, cherries. I'm just going to put some color there. And I'm going to do cross hatching. I know this is going to have color, but that's going to be darker, so I'm going to modify that with what? Maybe a little green? That green does not work. Let's try a different color. Oh, how about a little purple? Well, that makes it a little darker, right? Not what I want. Try a different green. Oh, that helps. Now, I know these are red. You're going, oh, you're making them blue and green. Why are you doing that? This is just the color underneath. Right? Because I know these are red. Let's add the local color, which is the mid-tone. Right? And these are pretty small, so I'm just going to add, but I'm going to add this over the top of the shadow too. And I'm cross-hatching, I'm not coloring in. Remember that. Yep, I have problems with people thinking they're just coloring in, but you're cross-hatching. And I can use more purple in here. And I can probably draw these a little better. Okay. Some reflected light. I'm going to have this bright blue here. So I'm just blocking in all the parts of this drawing, trying to get it all going, because when I have one color next to another, simultaneous contrast, it affects how I see the other colors. Oh, this is going to be more blue. Shadow. So this is a little more complex of a drawing. You guys can handle this. I have no doubt you will not have any trouble with this. It's the same thing, it's just more shapes, different colors that are working in here. I want to consider background, okay? So this artist used a lot of grays, but he modified that with some reds. Okay. I'm just going to do this real quick. You could use cross-hatching to do this, and it'll look a lot better than what I'm doing here. You know, you could build up your cross-hatching. It's just I'm on the clock to get this done before you guys decide to click out somewhere else on the internet. Now the problem is I have grays here and I have grays here, so I need to separate those. I can do that with value or I can do that with color. Remember, value is the most important. Boy, this thing's getting in my way. But let's just get some of this other stuff in play here. I got yellow down here, right? I modified it with what? A little bit of white. And yes, I am doing this lightning fast here. Okay, so I have highlight on these cherries. What am I going to do? Oh, I'm going to find a lighter color. I'm necessarily not going to grab white. This artist used white. But I'm going to create a highlight using a little bit of orange mixed into that red to create a highlight shape. All right. Now, that's looking very orangey. That's okay, because I'm going to add some more red on top. always bring it back and add more red into it. So now I have values all in play here, but I want to modify this gray for sure. Because I don't want it all gray. Let's try green. I like green. Okay, so now I'm going to bring a little bit of, oops, now let's do this yellow. Do this yellow here, not white. And I'm going to work on my drawing skills. Spectral highlight, be careful of those, but you can't get away from those when you're dealing with a glass that's transparent. And just building up these values, building up the values. Trying to bring this drawing back a little bit. Cleaning up these edges because I really went crazy out here. Just trying to get it down fast. And doing all this little detail stuff is what you do last. You don't want to do this first. I know some of you guys like to be precise, which is good. But you can do that later very often. And we're trying to get, we've got little reflections that we're trying to bring in there. So I'm looking at all the shapes I see here, adding these reflections back in. And creating some of the detail work. And some reds in here. See how this red and this blue make a very nice dark color. I like that. That worked. Sometimes you have to be inventive and try different colors, trying to get the values you're looking for. That's black. Remember I said don't use black? Ugh, ugh, ugh. Okay, I'm just going to use the dark purple here. Oh, better. Working my drawing. Where are my highlights? Where are my shadows? It's going to have a little more highlight. Let's try yellow. Oh, yellow's not bad. Mixed into that red. Oops, when it gets to the blue though, it makes green. Huh. So remember I said values, most important, color is secondary. And this is a case where we don't have exactly the right color we want, but that's really secondary to importance. We don't have to add, a perfect red. You don't need that. Your eye will fill it in. Your eye will mix that in later. I want a softer edge on this shadow. I don't want a hard edge. They've got very hard edges in the reflections here. Too bright. Tone that down. I like that green. So see how I'm getting highlight, mid-tone, shadow, right? Trying to work those values, always working those values. I squint, I look at it, I judge it, I adjust it, and that's what you want to do constantly. Let's try to get those mid-tone, highlight, shadows to work for you. And we're getting close to be done. Not the right color. There we go. I'm using this yellow, mixing with this red and blue makes a really nice gray. Oh, new discovery. I like discovering new colors to use. It's a nice bluish gray. What happened out here? Oh, look at this. I'm getting a halo going around here. I do not want a halo. Do not put halos around your drawing. Break that up. Nice clean edge around the drawing. Keep it lively. Tone that color down a little bit. That is just way too strong. And a little strong here too. I'll make that a little darker. You can see I'm using this gray, but I'm modifying it with the yellows. So I'm always modifying any neutral color. Oops, that's white. Don't want white. I want this yellow. So light's coming from this way. This side of this flat table should be the brightest. And then you have a gradation of value. Remember, we talked about gradations when we're doing still lives with charcoal. This is where all comes back into play. Yeah, I like the yellow better than the white. So I'm trying to get all these reflections to work for me. But essentially, that's how you do it.